I look great. Survivor specialist Phil and Alexa are back, and it's Halloween weekend, and I found these glasses and think I look cool, so I'm going to wear these. And Alexa's a sailor, so
Yes, Phil's gonna find a little raft and then break into my ship and steal all my things.
yeah, exactly. This is
Survivor
actually
Sailors, Phil and Alexa are back.
right. I actually do have an eye patch now. This is authentic. This is
Can
real.
you see through that thing?
Barely. It's very annoying. I won't lie.
Excellent. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for you to read your power rankings with that on.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty great. I won't lie. I didn't watch the new preview because I kind of refused. Based on last week, I'm hoping to kind of just do this based on what I know, based on like what I can deduce from what we've seen so far. I don't want to do this based on anything else. I'm also not going to talk like a pirate the whole time. I just think it's funny that I'm wearing these. So there will be like no pirate references aside from the fact that I'm wearing pirate glasses.
Yeah, well, or like maybe you can get a point every time you make a horrific like sailor pun. We can make a lot of ocean puns. We've done that before.
We could. Oh my god. Well, Phil needs to get into his power rankings immediately before things get out of hand. All right. So last week we saw Rourke go home. We saw Allie B left on the outside of that tribe. We saw Chrissy and Ryan team up to get rid of Rourke. On the other tribe, we saw Mike find an idol, which is cool because him and Jessica found it together. It seems like that's actually going to play out where they're kind of together. And then we have Cole falling down in this preview. So that's really all I know. I know Allie's going to be mad. I know all of that. So based on this, I'm going to put Mike at number 1 for the second week. With that idol, I'm feeling good that Mike is pretty much as safe as he can be. He's got the idol. He's on a tribe where I feel like people are going to go after everybody but him. I still feel like Cole is definitely number 1 enemy, and it's going to be, great. I think it's Cole who would still go home, and we got him passing out. I don't really know what's going on, but there you go.
Yeah, I'll let you go first on all the predictions because I don't want where I have someone to affect you. But I have Mike at number 1 also, and that's mainly because he has an idol, and he actually seems like he's going to know what to do with it. Someone else knows. Jessica is obviously aware that he has an idol, and I actually saw Cole made a comment on Reddit a few days ago, and a lot of people were saying, why wasn't Cole digging for this idol? Why wasn't he looking for it? How did Mike and Jessica find it and not him? He actually had been looking for it. He said that he had been digging around for it for a few days and couldn't find it. And so if you rewatch the episode, either Jessica or Mike says, like, keep digging. Like, do you want to try again? So he had gone for it. So everyone can say what they will about Cole, but he did actually try to find this idol. But regardless, Mike still found it. So, yeah, I think Mike's in a good place. Cole's going to be the one to go home. Mike seems to be very comfortable with Jessica. I think the two of them will be a really good duo. And I would say my number 2, but do you want to go before me?
Yeah, I'll go before you. The other thing I just want to point out is I think there was a secret scene where Mike was getting stung by wasps, which is pretty funny.
Pretty crazy.
I mean, like, not funny, but he was getting stung by wasps while trying to look for it. It's kind of crazy.
That's terrifying. That sounds
right?
Awful. Yeah.
It doesn't sound like that. That doesn't sound like fun. All right. My number 2. Okay. See, I actually didn't do these beforehand, so I'm going off the fly here. So my number 2, I'm going to go with. This is fun. I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna go with Chrissy here because even though her name came up last week, and she was very close to going, Ryan sided with her, and JP is not flipping on Chrissy. So the best that happens is if this tribe loses, is it's a 2-2 vote, and Chrissy. I just don't see Ryan flipping back to Allie to vote out Chrissy. It would be to flip to Allie to vote out JP. So I think that Chrissy is in actually a really good spot after this because why would she be the one? Like, I just don't understand why Ryan would do what he did last week to then vote out Chrissy this week. And JP is never going to vote Chrissy. So the most votes she's going to get is 1. It's either JP or Allie who would go from this tribe because they're not going to flip on Ryan either. So I'm going to put Ryan at 3. I was debating whether to put Ryan at 2 or Chrissy at 2. But I could see Ryan going more than I could see Chrissy going, although I can't really see Ryan going either, even though he just won our LVP last week, which I said would happen, even though I don't think it should have.
Yeah, so everyone's going to think I'm copying you, but I went with Chrissy for number 2 as well. I listened to a lot of Rourke's exit interviews because I was really looking forward to hearing about how the whole Rourke and Chrissy thing went down. And it was pretty much as simple as they were just 2 people who really didn't get along. Apparently, when they got onto the beach, Chrissy said, well, let's get rid of Rourke. Allie didn't particularly like that for whatever reason. And so Allie and Rourke just developed like a very natural relationship. And one thing that Rourke pointed out that I found to be really interesting, Boston Rob has always said, who you sleep with is who you're aligned with. And Rourke and Allie always slept together. I just kicked over my water bottle. Rourke and Allie always slept together. Ryan was sleeping with Chrissy and JP. And Rourke said, I'm shooting myself in the foot because I never questioned that. I never questioned why Ryan was hanging out with Chrissy so much, because none of them had any idea about this idol, obviously. So anyways, Chrissy has this like bond with Ryan that I think everyone really underestimated, but she's running that tribe. I mean, she's proven that when she wants something, she can clearly do it and do it well. I don't think Ryan's going anywhere. She and Allie will probably butt heads a bit, but like you said, Allie is down 3-1 and she has JP under her thumb too. So she's in a fantastic position because now she has a cross-tribal alliance with her heroes and potentially a 1 or 2 hustlers with Ryan and Devin, not Allie.
Yeah. Who do you got at 3 so that I don't go ahead of you?
Yeah, I actually go with Jessica at number 3. I have Ryan pretty close, but I think Jessica is doing really well for herself. Even though she doesn't have an idol, I think she will have some say in what happens with it. And there's going to be a lot of attention on, are they the Yawa tribe? Yeah, I'm getting these tribes.
I have no idea. We never get the tribe names. Will and I don't think got the tribe names right one time the entire time that we did these podcasts. So I have no idea.
Okay, so I'm already doing better than Will. That's awesome. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of attention on this Yawa tribe next week because we do have an idol there. They're the only ones who haven't gone to tribal council yet, and we have Cole like potentially dying off the side of the shelter. So we're getting a lot of attention there, and I think whether or not Cole like goes down, goes home, whatever, there's going to be a lot of love to Jessica, and I think right now is her transition of I'm not ready to get rid of Cole, which is something that she said. No matter what that context is, does she want to stay with Cole? Does she want to work with Dr. Mike? Does she want to maybe work with Lauren and Ben? I think she's in a really good position because no one wants to get rid of her. Seems like she would be very easy to work with, and I think a lot of people would want to work with her. So I have her in a really good position.
Yeah, I actually just typed out my whole ranking, so now we can start. I have Ben at 4 and Jessica at 5. Ben, after last week's thing, I wrote about it in like my 5 after the episode. And I really think that was like a scene that like you can't get a read on in terms of Survivor. Like it's just so hard to like actually understand what just happened there. I feel like that was more of just like a moment that Survivor wanted to put because it was so authentic and so like legitimate. So I think that's why that ended up making the cut. Whether he goes on to win or not, this is still something that's going to be talked about at the reunion. It's going to be something that's talked about on his journey and hopefully as something that helps vets or something like that's going to be how CBS spins this. And that's why it was in there. And it was a really authentic moment. And I don't see him going this week. And then after that, I'm going to put Jessica at 5 because kind of like what you were saying, like Jessica doesn't have the idol, but how is Jessica going to go home? Everybody either wants to go out. It's either they want to go after Cole, or really everybody wants to go after Cole on that tribe. Lauren's not voting for anybody but Cole. We saw how stubborn she was with the Patrick thing. Like when she gets her mindset on somebody, that's who she's going to vote out. So she's going to vote for Cole. I'm pretty sure Dr. Mike and Jessica at this point are probably down to vote out Cole. And I just don't see it spinning to Jessica. I think that Ben and I think that I really think that tribe is like the easiest one where if the tribe loses, it's Cole. The other tribes, I could see multiple people going home, but if that tribe loses, it's Cole, like every time. I'd be really surprised if it got spun on somebody else, which is why I actually have Lauren at number 6 too. So I just kill that tribe right there and then have Cole down way lower because I just don't see how it becomes anybody but Cole because I just feel like there's so much just animosity at him right now because he's just loud, he's got loose lips, and he's also now going to pass out. So how strong is he really worth keeping around? Plus, you got to know that a merge is right on the horizon. Why not get rid of him now if you have the chance before you can really blow up a game?
Yeah, I think if that tribe goes to tribal council 10 times, I think Cole goes home 9 or 10 of them.
Mhm.
The only other person I could even imagine going home would be Ben, strictly because there is a secret scene where Dr. Mike says that he would want a gun for Ben, but we haven't seen that. We haven't really seen any strategy with like Ben and Lauren, including that group. So that Ben would be the only other person, but I really think it's like all eyes are pointing towards Cole. To catch up with you, I go 4 JP, 5 Ryan, 6 Ben. And JP's a lot higher than I expected him to be, but I actually think at the moment I'll probably be keeping him pretty high for an extended period of time because there's no reason for him to go home. And even if he makes the merge and he goes on this challenge tear, I really don't think that people, for better or for worse, I really don't think that people respect him just because he's not playing a traditional modern Survivor game. So even if he does go on an immunity tear and make it to the final 3, I just think people would kind of treat him like Ken and just kind of laugh at him. So I'm really not too nervous about him. And then especially Chrissy's going to be using him as a vote. He'll be used as a pawn for them. So he's in a good position just in terms of that. And Rourke also said in one of our exit interviews that JP's like a very good leader when it comes to challenges. So for however many more tribal challenges they have left, he's been proven to be a really good asset. And then Ryan at number 5, he got a lot of heat last week. I'm now that I've heard a bunch of different sides of the story, Rourke said she thinks that Ryan gunned for her because Ryan was losing Allie to Rourke. He saw that there was a connection there. He saw that Allie just had this tight relationship with Rourke. So although he is likely losing Allie, he was probably fearing more long-term, she's going to ditch me. She's going to get rid of me. So he kind of punched her before she could punch him. Whether or not that's going to work out for him, we'll have to wait and see. But right now he is technically in a power position. He's aligned with someone and no one else would know that going into the merge except for Allie, who they very well could get rid of if they go to tribal council this week. And then Ben, I have at number 6. I thought that was pretty high, but I guess that's kind of smack dab in the middle. I think he's in a good position. I feel like their tribe is going to go to tribal council, which is why I'm a little nervous for him. And I just don't know where he stands alliance-wise. I know him and Lauren are relatively close, but I don't know. Will they all go for the Cole? Are they going to try to make something happen? I'm not sure. So that's why I have him at the bottom when it comes to his current tribe.
Yeah, I have JP way lower. You're beating me by 14 in the power rankings, so hopefully I can make up points and JP will just go home this week. But I have JP way lower for like various reasons. My 7 through 10 is literally just a blue tribe. So yeah. I'll just go with that because this is the hardest one to get a read on, and literally any of them can go if it literally comes down to rocks. So I'm going to say 7 Desi because I think she has the least amount of chance of actually getting the votes, and I also think that she could find herself in the swing position where Ashley and Devin give her an ultimatum and she says, okay, fine, I'll go with you guys. We get rid of Joe, and I don't even have to worry about him anymore. Easy. Number 8, I have Devin because I think that he is somebody that Joe and Desi could still pull over to their side, even though him and Ashley seem close. I don't think Devin's going to get the votes from Joe and Desi, and I don't think that he's going to want to blow up his game just to sit there and go to rocks for Ashley, especially if Ashley's going to get the votes. That would mean that if it's 2-2, Devin is going to have to be the one drawing rocks, and why the hell would he do that for Ashley? That makes no sense. 9, I have Ashley, just because I think that that's who Joe and Desi would go for first. And like I said, if they can pull Devin, that's the reason. And then 10, I have Joe. I wrote in the 5 that I don't think Joe goes before the merge. In fact, I said like I'd eat a rock, pulled the Francesca because I really just don't see – I think Joe has to be like a long-term player in this game, at least the merge. And so Joe – even though I think he has a chance to go if that tribe loses, I think he finds a way. We saw Russell do it when he trip-trapped under that bridge, and he found the damn idol just sitting there, and he was like, whoa, I got another one. Like, this is the type of player Joe is. He knows where the idol is. If they lose, I think he's going to go hunting for it, and he's probably going to find it. So I really like Joe's chances here of surviving this week, even though I have him as the lowest on that tribe. But I just put that tribe there because – I really have no idea. If that tribe goes to tribal, that's the best tribal council, I think.
Yeah, apart from our placement of JP, we have extremely similar power rankings because I have Lauren at 7, so she's actually the bottom of the Yawa tribe for me, and that's only because we've seen so little of her. We've only seen her complain about Cole, but everyone's complained about Cole, so I kind of can't even count that as content for her. And then my 8, 9, 10, 11, I go Desi, Devin, Ashley, and Joe, so I have the exact same reasoning that you do. Though I guess with Desi going, like, we both have Desi at the top of that tribe, but like we said, God forbid they do go to Rocks, Ashley and Joe are the ones who are going to be safe, so it's Desi or Devin. So technically they should be down at the bottom, but I actually don't think they're going to go to tribal council because I think they really do have a lot of tribal chemistry now that Alan's gone. And I think they actually do have, I know everyone thinks that, like, they all hate Joe and Joe's just insane, but he's not. He's just a strong personality. I think Desi and Joe get along much better than we give them credit for. I think Ashley and Joe get along much better than we expected. And I don't think anyone can't get along with Devin. Like, he's just so likable. So I think they're doing really well. They won both of their challenges, and Desi like crushed it in those challenges. We didn't even talk about that, but she was amazing.
That's the thing. I was just going to say that tribe is, I love that you can see the reflection in my glasses. So anybody watching this can see what Lex is doing. But I think that tribe is the strongest tribe by far. And I would be really surprised if they finished third again. I think that, like you said, their chemistry is better once Alan's gone. If Alan was still there, maybe they lose. But with Alan being gone, like, there's no weakness on this tribe, and they all seem like they get along in some way. They did really well on the challenges last week. I think they're going to do really well again this week. And I'd be surprised if they're the one who loses 2 tribals before the merge. Like, I'd be really surprised if that's the tribe. So that's also why I have my bottom from the other 2 tribes below them, because I think the other 2 tribes, especially this Cole thing, has been building up for so long. And then this other tribe with Ryan, Chrissy, Allie, and JP just seems like the weakest tribe. I mean, granted, you can throw a puzzle in and then it doesn't matter, but they just seem like they're the weakest. Allie is so far out there right now. Like, I feel really weird with this tribe. So I just think that tribe that you just listed all 4 of, it makes sense that you have all 4 of them before you have Cole and Allie, because I have all 4 of them before I have Cole and Allie. You know, like, I just think they're the least likely to go to tribal by far.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you. Do you want to kill yours? Because it sounds like ours are one and the same. Yeah,
I mean, so I'm assuming your 12 is going to be Cole and your 13 is going to be Allie?
No, I actually go 12 Allie, 13 Cole, and that's only because just based on all the previews, everything has been about the Yawa tribe. The only content that we've seen is Allie and Ryan fighting, and that's at night after tribal council. So that very well could be the first 2 minutes of the episode. I think this is going to be a very Yawa-centered episode, and there are a lot of different plot lines there. So that's the only reason I have Cole lower than Allie.
Yeah, I have Cole at 13 too. I actually have Allie at 11 and JP at 12. This is a little bit to try to make up points on you, 1. And 2, Allie, to me, this is a situation. Somebody else was in this exact same situation where there was a swap. They got really hurt by the swap. They didn't actually go to tribal, but they were in a position where if they went to tribal, they looked like they were the easy next boot, and they went on to win the game. And that person was Michelle Fitzgerald. Anytime I could name drop it. My other preseason winner pick.
You really built that one up. That was good.
Right? That was good. I felt like
I liked that.
I actually wrote that one down so that I could really make that dramatic, because everything with Michelle has to be dramatic. Went out for Halloween last night and had to argue with my friends that Aubrey wasn't the deserving winner and that Michelle was.
That's what you're arguing about on Halloween?
I was drunk. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, yes.
Anyway, So my thing is, with JP compared to Allie, we've seen so much of Ryan and Allie working together, and it looks like they're going to blow up next week. It's going to be really ugly. And I just think that right now, Ryan could probably convince Chrissy, hey, let's get rid of JP. I think that he could convince her of that. And I think he could do that as Allie, I want to work with you. I still like you. And he could say to Chrissy, like, this could be the 3 of us. We could run this. And, like, I trust her. She has the connections with Lauren. She has the connection with Devin. And then you would have your connections. You've already really said JP's, like, really not much of anything. He's just there. So I think that this is something where it could be turned on us, because Allie has been played up with a really good edit. And it would really suck if she got booted right here, right before the merge, because that normally isn't what happens. Normally the person who goes right before the merge is somebody who's pretty invisible. I know Michaela was a different story, but that's also probably the greatest blindside of all time. So that's way different. You know, like that's just so out of nowhere that you're just like, how could we not build up Michaela so much? We had no idea she was going to go here. So I don't think that happens to Allie because she knows she's going home. Why have we been played up to like Allie so much if Allie's going home here? And really, we haven't seen much. I know that I keep saying like we've seen enough of JP to get what JP is, but we still haven't seen that much of JP that I think JP would go further than Allie, at least in terms of JP might finish a better place than Allie, but for him to hit the merge and her to not, after what we've seen so far from Allie and like how much we've seen of her, and, you know, she's getting kind of like a heroic edit. You know, she's working with Ryan. She's always the one who's walking around talking with the people who are on the outside. And now she's crying in the preview. Like, I really think based on what we've seen, Allie actually has a better chance to survive that tribal council than JP, mainly based on the edit. But I also think that Allie is going to be a lot better of a player than JP is. And she might be able to say, Ryan, let's do it. The merge is coming. Let's get rid of the biggest, strongest guy we got. There's no reason to keep him. But I also think that the other tribe's going to lose and Cole's going to go home. So my whole point was just moot.
Well, that's actually what I was going to say. Like, you bring up a really good point with that. I think Allie would be afraid to work with Ryan again, especially if Ryan proposes a me, you, and Chrissy group of 3, because I think Chrissy and Allie are not going to work together. That's the only, like, the biggest hole that I have in that argument, because they just seem like 2 very strong-willed people, and Chrissy just took out Allie's ally. Allie's ally. So she's obviously not too pumped about that. But I actually think, I mean, and I don't want to read into the edit that much, but I think she's going to make the merge probably because they just don't go to tribal council again. That's what I think. So, yeah, that's why Cole's probably going to go home.
Well, there you go. I'm actually going to go with this one here. I got to talk eliminator pick because Alexa's out, but Vaughn took JP.
So good a segue.
Yeah, I got to figure out who I want to take here, and hopefully, I just gave JP
the. See who you have left. I know it was tough for both of us because every person we picked hadn't like gone home. Like we wasted 2 people per episode.
Yeah, luckily I just got like Rourke just went, which made it a little bit easier for me. I lost my first person, which was nice. But this week I'm actually gonna take. God, I don't want to touch that tribe that has like 4 people. I'm gonna go with.
See, I would be we just talked about it. I would be comfortable picking someone from the Levu tribe.
Yeah, because I think they're gonna win, but then I would hate it if like somebody went home on rocks. I'm gonna go Desi. Actually, yeah, I'll pick Desi this week because I think that Desi has the best chance to survive there no matter what. So I'm gonna go Desi and hold my breath and hope that Desi hangs in there. Yeah, so that's my pick.
Cool. Yeah, good choice.
Hopefully.
And then Vaughn, you said went with JP, so we got that.
Vaughn went with JP.
Should we do a quick fantasy update?
Yeah, I think so. So I have. Well, you do the bootless and prop it if you have it. You have it, right?
Yeah, I have them up right now. So yesterday I posted the updates for the boot list and the prop bet games. So I pretty much just took people with the highest scores and put them up there. I obviously didn't put everyone. For the prop it, we are like, that is anyone's game right now. So Phil has 6 points, Lex has 5 points. But in first place is, I'm going to butcher your name again, CV Tucker with 13 points. And then there are 5 people after that with 11 points. So, and then after that, we have like 40 people all within 2 or 3 points of that. And then for the boot list, Phil has 36 points. I have 22 points. And in first place is Anthony Cusata with 8 points. And he's ahead of Mario Crown, Brochacho, Jay Uke with 9 points. And Adam Klein is actually way down in 6th place. So everyone who we've announced, congratulations, you are beating Adam Klein at the boot list game.
Everybody else you're losing to him, so good job.
Yes, yeah, for the other like 130 people whose boot list entries I put in. So MVP went to Chrissy, LVP went to Ryan. So I'm gonna write my second MVP spotlight about Chrissy tonight. So keep an eye out for that. What else are we missing here, Phil? Oh, also,
I'm gonna do the fantasy game update real quick.
Okay, you do that, and then actually you do the fantasy game, and then I'll say something.
So right now I have 78, and Alexa and Vaughn both have 77. Vaughn has 3 people left. Me and Alexa both have 5. So it's pretty close.
Tight. Yeah.
Yeah, because you had Ryan as the LVP, so you actually dropped 2 for that, and then Vaughn had Chrissy as the MVP, so he went up 3. And that's what kept it even.
There we go. And then maybe before we move on to comments, I feel like I texted you this, but I know a lot of people have asked us about like what the rules are for each of these games. So we might just do a quick write-up of the rules and put them on our website. So when we do that, we will post the link around.
Around what?
That's around the internet.
The way you just said around, I was waiting for the next word.
I was like, no, I'm good.
Okay, yeah, well, we could do that. Let's do some comments. Let's start over on Twitter, I guess.
What do you want to start with on Twitter?
Let's see. Let's just start with the well, we did hit 1,000 followers here, so that's cool.
Yeah, so not only did we hit 1,000 the same night that we talked about it, but we gained like 15 followers that day. So I think we should just start making milestones for every like 10 followers, and then maybe we'll just really explode.
Yeah, I like that. I like the. Okay, so we'll go to comment here. I like this. Larry Miller is Survivor twins in the making. What I like about this is look at Will and then look at JP's lats, right? Lats, right? Those are what those are.
What lats? Oh, like his shoulders?
Yeah. Look at Will's and then look at JP's. Look at that jawline on JP and then look at Will's. And just tell me how they look anything alike. Like me and Patrick, that totally makes sense. But this Will JP, man. I also like that you went all the way back to like one of our really early podcasts. I'm like 20 pounds lighter in my mom's basement. So well done going all the way back to find those pictures.
Well, that's what I liked so much. Will looks like he's in, you know, when you're taking your high school graduation photos and they put
that's what it is.
Wait, that's actually what that is? I remember watching those podcasts and being like, where the heck is Will?
So his roommate was an actor, and he would have to do auditions in front of like that canvas thing. So he had to buy that, and Will would just do his podcast in front of it.
That's actually pretty nice. But yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, so I'm not insane. Yeah, Will and JP don't particularly look alike. That would be a disservice to JP.
Absolutely. Gamer Girl, am I the only person who thinks they'll merge at 11 and not 12? Cagayan, Korong, and Philippines merge at 11. I just think the only reason I think they merge at 12 instead of 11 is because they like these bigger merges. But to have these 3 tribes, you're really looking at doing some damage if one of these tribes gets down to 2. And I'm telling you, they're looking at that tribe with Ryan, Chrissy, and Allie and saying, how can we get the 3 of them to the merge? And the way to get them to the merge is to not have 2 more tribal councils. So that's why I think that we're probably looking at only 1 more vote. You did 3 votes with this. Could have made it completely even, would have been pretty cool, and then you go to the merge. I think that's just the easiest way. It's a nice clean 12, and you go with it.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. And this also kind of answers a question that I think I saw on YouTube from our recap last week. But is this the first time that they've done 3 tribes to reshuffle into 3 and then go to the merge? Because this very well could have failed very easily. Yeah. But like this, they very well could have been a tribe of 1 and then 2 other tribes of 6. But the fact that didn't happen makes me think that they could push it to 11. But I don't know. I think it's
already like predetermined.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think it's worked out really well.
Yeah, I doubt that they would go 1 more based on that. I think that it's already been predetermined and ready to go. Gamer Girl then asks, who does Ryan's move hurt more in the long run, Ryan or Allie? I mean, in the short game, it definitely hurts Allie more. But in the long run, I think it's if Allie can get to the merge, I think it hurts Ryan more.
I think it'll hurt Ryan more because assuming they both make it to the merge, Allie can run around and be like, guys, Ryan totally burned me. And so Ryan could easily lose Lauren because Lauren, we've seen having more of a relationship with Allie than we've seen her with Ryan. Devin, I don't think she's going to ditch him. I don't think she would leave him. The way I see this falling into place is Allie and Lauren hang out with the healers. Ryan, Devin, and the heroes team up. And then Ben, I don't know. I see Ben kind of being somewhere in the middle. So if they both make it to the merge, it's going to make for a really good first merge tribal council.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm like really pumped. This season just keeps ticking along, and I'm like really excited each week. Like, okay, who are we going to lose this week, or what craziness is going to go down? I think that there's some pretty cool moments that are just happening right here. So I'm into it.
And there's so many good characters. Like I would be happy with like more than half of this cast winning. That doesn't happen often. So yeah, it's been great. Giovanni, Oriana have recent merge boosts like Cass, Michelle, Haley, and Sarah taught these new players to target people like Lauren or JP. I don't know if it's taught them because Haley went out last time. So
yeah, and
I think that's becoming the norm.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't really know. Like those three players really don't have all that much in common either. Like Cass had such a big target on her back coming to the season because they knew she was Chaos Cass, so why let her play? Then you have Haley, who didn't have any type of target, and she was just the easy boot there because everybody could agree on her. Then you had Michelle, who was just seen as the dangerous person who wouldn't get the idol, so that's why she went. And then Sarah went because she was the swing vote. So all four of them went for very different reasons. But I think that JP could easily go at the merge. I don't think Lauren would go at the merge, but JP could easily go just because they could be like, look, he's in a majority, or he's in an alliance with somebody that we need out, and he's also the strongest person in that alliance. So let's get rid of him. We could do let's do Gamer Girl. When the season ends, who will be the more forgotten Survivor firefighter, JP or Wes? I mean, Wes is pretty much only known for chicken nuggets and being Keith's son. So
yeah, for being Keith's son. Well, here the thing about JP is like people are gonna say he's forgettable, but the thing is he's become such a meme that people are never going to forget him, and no one's ever going to be like JP needs to be on Second Chances too. But people are always going to talk about him and things like that.
Exactly, and things like that. There you go.
I tried to effortlessly sneak that in there.
You did it so effortlessly as you changed your complete voice. Like just to,
that was like
I'm drawing attention to this.
That was like the classic, like laughing at my own joke before it even comes out of my mouth.
Absolutely.
Travis Herod, is it too soon to say we're getting a female winner? Best hero is Chrissy, best healer is Jessica, best hustler is Allie. I think you said this in your 5, but there are a lot of like really good women on this season. They're all like playing a win. They've been awesome this season. And I mean, my winner pick is Desi, and that's obviously like not going too well for me. But she's proven to be like extremely good in challenges, very smart. There are a lot of really good women on the season. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think that I think I said that a woman's going to win this season, and I think that those were my top 3 women. And then I also had then the other 2 that I had in the top 5 I think were Ryan and I think it was Ben at the time. But yeah, I'm seeing a woman winning this season because if you really look at what we've seen so far, Dr. Mike's starting to pick up a little bit, but he was just so like not there for 2 or 3 episodes, which is really weird for him. So I don't see him winning, and then Devin I don't see winning. I think he's too likable. They won't let him get to the end. Cole's not going to win. Joe's not going to win. Ben could win. Ryan could win. That's really it. I mean, I don't really see JP's not going to end up winning. Like that's it. I think that's really it. So I would say a woman's going to win this season. And probably hopefully it's my girl Allie, who I've been saying since once I found out what her profession was.
Yeah. Want to take the next one?
Yeah, I got to figure out where it is. So we got Gio. Is Lauren in danger since Alan and Rourke were voted out of their original tribes? No, I don't think so. I think because the Hustlers already had less people, I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, what's the Alan and Rourke? Because it was a hero and a healer.
Yeah, so then would it be a Hustler if that tribe loses? I doubt it.
I don't think so. I don't think they're afraid of the Hustlers, especially now that they're so fractured.
Yeah, which they might not even know how fractured they are, but they're going to be like,
yeah, exactly. Giovanni again. Will the preview curse still be in effect? And Ryan, Allie, Mike, Desi, and Ashley and Ben won't win. I really like. I'll look into the edit here and there, but I like refuse to look into the previews. But that group of people seems to be doing very well for themselves. And
yeah, that's from the season preview. Those are the people.
Yeah, that was during the finale, right?
Yeah,
yeah, but that still doesn't have much of an effect on me. Even though I guess apparently one is never won. But I mean, Ryan could win, Allie could win. Mike could win. Ben could win. I want Desi to win. Ashley's got a good underdog thing going on. Like any of those people could win.
Yeah. Larry Miller, would you name your kid Rourke? I would not.
Oh, see, I would. I like a different name. I've never met a Rourke before, but I think she has a really cool name.
I mean, I didn't say it was a bad name. I just wouldn't name my kid it.
Yeah, I wouldn't name my kid it.
The next Larry Miller says, "Hi, Pirate Phil and Admiral Alexa. Where's Whaler Will? He's off whaling.
He's off whaling, which is illegal. I like Pirate Phil and Admiral Alexa. That's awesome." Isaacs. I love how you dyed your mustache black. If you do it for the rest of your hair, maybe Lauren would like you more. She also might trust you.
Exactly. Maybe I have to do that.
Maybe you should do that. And then I'll dye my hair red. Just keep it even.
Just so we can keep it going. All right, let's jump over to YouTube. Got L Claire 1000. LOL Phil, Adam is such a know-it-all now. I luckily recently found you and Alexa and really appreciate you too. If you had discussions with Adam like you do here, no wonder he won. I love the know-it-alls too, and he was awesome with them. I bet he's even better with you two. I mean, the best podcast we have are when we have Adam, Adam's great.
Yeah. No, he's really good.
And he learned everything he needed to know from us. I mean, he was like a mediocre Survivor fan before he started watching us, right?
Mediocre fan.
Yeah, he really wasn't. He wasn't even that into it, right? Like he didn't watch that much.
Yeah. Noah Vanderberg. Do you think Ryan will ditch Allie for Chrissy and then meet up at the merge with Devin, create a group of 5 with Ben, Chrissy, Devin, and Lauren? I think he's gonna meet back up with Devin. I think Chrissy and Ben is a duo I'm a little more nervous about because I feel like Ben is fitting in really well with his new tribe. And Chrissy seems to be like very comfortable in the power position. And so I don't know. I'm not, I don't think Ben or Lauren necessarily, but I think Ryan and Chrissy and Devin are definitely going to team up.
Yeah. And I think that Chrissy could go back with Ben at some point, but what I'm looking at is I'm not completely sure that Allie's completely out of the good graces of Ryan, but I think that this is one of those you forgive, but you don't forget. And if she realizes the only way to get forward is to work with Ryan, then she'll continue to work with Ryan and then get rid of him when she has to, or when she can. So I think that's the real thing here. Claire Burney says, who are the worst 3 Survivor players that come to mind in history, not including Cole? God, Cole is not like, he's not that bad.
That is recency bias. He's not that bad.
I mean, it's clearly Francesca because she got last twice. So that's like you have to say Sandra is like a top 3 winner. You have to say Francesca is a top 3 loser. Yeah. And then other than that, I really don't know because this comes into the whole argument Will used to make whenever we tried to do a ranking and he would just ruin them by being like, oh, well, that person got 4th. And if they made it to the finale or they made it to the final 3, they would have won. So therefore they're a better player than the person who finished 6th because that person, it's like, Will, stop. But this does come down to that argument where it's like last place. If you finish last place, that means you're probably a worse player than the person who finished, 8th, but was terrible. Like, is Christina Cha like the worst player in Survivor history? Probably not. She got all the way to 4th. Like, is Rick the worst player in Survivor history? Probably not. He got 5th place. But like, you remember how bad they are in the game. But like, that doesn't mean that they're like as bad as Deb or as bad as like Sonia. Like, really, you could probably just pull the first 3 boots from Borneo and say that they're the worst 3 players. Because I mean, like, they didn't really know what they were doing. Like, BB pretty much voted himself out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you worded that like very well. It's kind of like I don't know if I could say like who the best Survivor player is or who the worst is, because is it based on gameplay? Is it based on placement? Or is it based on like their season contextually? Like, throw Rick in a different season. Does he change? Probably not. But I'm saying, like, if you put Timbertine in another season, she's probably not going to be the first person voted out. So I don't think Cole is the one in the top 3 worst players of all time, but I don't know. I guess I don't have a top 3 worst players of all time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Christopher Herrera, I don't think Ryan can talk his way out of this with Allie because I feel her problem is less with him voting out Rourke and more with him lying to her. And I don't know how he can rationalize leaving her out of that decision.
And that's the one thing that I still say was like not great for Ryan. I kind of get like why it was like a good move for him to stick with Chrissy, but not telling Allie is going to be the part that bites him in the butt, because this could have been avoidable had he given her some context to it in advance.
Absolutely. Yeah, he kept it too quiet, I think.
Michael Feeney. I remember a few years ago.
You skipped the one where he says, I'm the man at the Eliminator game. I wanted to make you purposely read that one.
Oh, I do want me to read that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because it wasn't like a question.
Yeah, but it's great. Well, all you have to do is read the first 2 sentences. You don't have to read who he's used.
All right, all caps, Robert Krause. Phil, you are the man of the Eliminator game. Great job.
Thank you.
P.S. I'm doing my own Eliminator game, and I even outlasted Alexa.
That's all I wanted.
Robert, that's like, unfortunately, that's not much of a good thing, because like beating me at the Eliminator game is not that hard. But I'm glad you're doing well. Use Allie, JP, Chrissy, Desi, and Joe. Wow, Allie and Chrissy use them kind of early. But what do I know?
Yeah, exactly.
Michael Feeney, I remember a few years ago that Jeff said that if a tribe of 4 has a tie before the merge, it's a fire challenge like in the final 4. Of course, he could conveniently forget that and make the 2 people without votes draw rocks.
It would be interesting. If it's fire, that kind of changes the complexion of that tribe, because then, like, Devin really has nothing to lose by being like, actually, go make a fire. I don't really care. Like,
yeah, you'll figure it out. You'll be okay.
And if you don't, I'm still here tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't really know how that would work.
I feel like a fire making would be more fair.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And I far prefer a fire making challenge to rocks. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Colon. I think this episode displays that Chrissy does not perform well under pressure. In my opinion, she was a mess during this episode. I kind of disagree. I don't think she was bad at all.
She was not. The thing, people are getting upset because Chrissy like snapped a little bit. Chrissy was on an island with someone who she wasn't connecting with. Chrissy said to Rourke said this in her exit interview, that Chrissy thinks the 2 of them are very similar. When people who are similar, Alan and Joe, Chrissy and Rourke, when they clash, they're going to, like, tensions are going to heat up. Chrissy didn't say anything like extremely insulting to Rourke, and Rourke didn't either. Chrissy was just being competitive, and to do well in Survivor, you have to be really competitive. So I thought Chrissy slayed it this episode.
Yeah, I thought she was fine. Megan Haysom, Allie's kiss of death happens again. As soon as Allie talked to Rourke, you knew. So, yeah, I mean, Allie has this way of, like, kind of like, the thing is, Allie's doing great jury management with people who aren't on the jury, which is why I think Allie is so dangerous, because if she can hit the merge, or the game starts over for her, and if she can get to the end, she's doing jury management with people who aren't even there. Everybody who's been voted off so far, who she's been on a tribe with, would vote for Allie to win out of everybody they played with. Like, yeah. Whether it be Patrick, whether it be Rourke. I mean, Patrick might not, because he'd feel so betrayed by her, but she was still the one who was, like, reaching out to Patrick most of the time, reaching out to Simone, and then this Rourke thing. And she didn't even have to burn the bridge with Rourke.
Yeah, I know. That's a good point. Yeah, she's playing a good game, but unfortunately the people who are going home are not voting for her to win yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nick P's comment is so long, but it brings up good points, but it's just so long.
It's so long. So everyone read his, because we're not going to, but it's really good. Mandy Brown, I think JP's reaction to iced coffee was the most emotion we're ever going to get out of him. I didn't see it. What did he do?
I don't know. Maybe he just got excited. I really don't know.
Maybe he smiled.
Yeah, maybe. That's about it.
Mandy Brown again. Also, Cole is really depressing me. He started off at JT circa token jeans, and now he's JT circa heroes versus villains, giving away idols and leading himself to slaughter, yet still likable. It's so sad. Yeah, he's definitely like a tragic character. Like, it's, but like
there's no way JP's not a tragic character. I just think JP's like, he's just not much of a Survivor player, you know?
Well, no, but that's the thing. He's like, I think everyone into it, like, loving him because he's cute. And then people realize that, like, he didn't really watch this. He was recruited. He and Desi were both recruited. And so he was like, oh, cool. Like, challenges and coconuts. I'm down for this. Yeah. And then, like, meets this really cute girl. And then she's like, no, I'm actually trying to play. And thus the saddest romance of all time have happened on national TV.
Jake Conley, do you think players from alliances in the merge based on their current swap tribe relationships or their original tribe relationships? I think this is going to be completely mixed. It's going to be a complete mix and match of, there's nobody who's doing like the Tony final five. Like, that's not happening right now. But I do think that it's a complete, I think that Joe and Desi are a lot closer now because they were on a tribe together. I think Devin and Ashley are a lot closer now because they're on a tribe together. But like, I don't think that Joe, Desi, Ashley, and Devin are all going to work together. And I think Devin would go back to Ryan. I think Ashley would probably try to go back to JP, especially with Alan out now. Ashley doesn't really have to worry about this thing. So I think that it's going to be a huge mix, which is actually going to create some really entertaining moments.
And I think that's another gain of this three tribes merging into 3 tribes, because if it was 2 tribes of 7, then you could have stuck along your original tribal lines, but here it forced you into a smaller group, so you had to make other alliances. So that's worked out really well in terms of like what's going on with the merge. Where should we go? Oh, Jake Conley. If Ryan voted out Chrissy, then no one is mad, but he votes out Rourke, and now Allie can't trust him. Instead of having 2 solid allies, he now only has 1. How does that benefit him, if at all? So that's like a completely valid point. Like, that's what Phil and I have been talking about earlier. I think like Ryan's reasoning, now that we've had a few days to like listen to exit interviews, his reasoning is that he was eventually going to lose Allie to Rourke, and he was probably afraid that Allie was going to do to him what he just did to her. So he was stabbing her before, Jesus, he was stabbing her before she could stab him. I got very into that.
Jesus, stabbing makes Alexa kick things.
Just there goes my phone. Whatever.
Like I think how it benefits him is the whole, he knows Chrissy is tight with him because he just showed how close he is with her. Like he just said, I will push Allie to the side to stick with you, and also JP is way less threatening than Rourke. That's how it benefits him the most.
Yeah.
Next one, we have Ben Calibrod. This will likely be the first ever Survivor season, possibly in the entire worldwide franchise, to never have two tribes competing in the entire pre-merge. Do you think this is a good move on their part? The way it's worked out, yeah, absolutely. It's been great. I don't know if it would work out this well every time, just like some seasons aren't as good as others, but yes, this was great.
Yeah, this worked out well. I'm not saying it would work well every time, but we're lucky that the first time it happened, it went really well.
Stephen Davis then goes on to give like a novel that is also like really, really good, especially it's a lot of defending Chrissy, talking about Rourke, getting voted out and everything. And it's really good, but it's like that would take us like another like 5 minutes. So read that. It's really good.
Yeah, he put Nick P to shame. It's really good.
And it's really long.
Yeah. I'll go. So Mars goes, red herring was only used twice in this video. That's an all-time low. And Lie Much Bro responded with, did Alexa say slow burn 800 times? Phil and I have a lot of catchphrases, like not for nothing or slow burn. And we're probably going to keep saying them because it bothers you guys.
What? Will would always say, Will would always say slam dunk. It's slam dunk. It's slam dunk. And it's so funny because like, I think he would say it half the time just because like, he would be like, probably watching the Warriors game instead of listening to me while podcasting and just be like, slam dunk.
Because someone just slam dunked. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's a funny catchphrase because you talk about slam dunk when something is 100% absolutely going to happen. And like, in what world do you and I know exactly what's going to happen?
Well, and that's the beauty of like Survivor is like, we don't really know it all because it's all being manipulated to what the editors want us to believe anyway. So it's so funny when it's like, it's guaranteed, it's slam dunk. Like,
yeah, Rourke stays this week, slam dunk.
Yeah. That wasn't it. I don't think Will would have used it there. Rasmus Anderson, hey, nice podcast. It seems like Jeff don't want to talk to JP at all in Tribal. He talked to everyone else a lot. Your thoughts on that? I think JP's just not giving him material. That's all.
Yeah, Jeff said after the Katrina vote out, he said I asked JP like 30 questions and he just gave me nothing. So he might be asking JP questions, but it sounds like the answers are not worth us listening to. Gamer Girl, I disagree with your comparison on the Rourke versus Chrissy to Lauren versus Patrick. As for the first time around, that made me really angry because Patrick was a favorite of mine. But I had a strong belief that this was happening. I don't know. Yeah, Rourke, I didn't expect her to go home due to the preview. I kind of thought Patrick was going to go home due to the preview. But once it was Chrissy versus Rourke, I knew it was going to be Rourke going home because we just weren't going to lose Chrissy this early.
Yeah, Patrick versus Lauren was definitely more of a wide open one because either one seemed expendable at the time. Whereas this one, like Chrissy's storyline just was nowhere near being over.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got Arcs13. I saw people comparing JP dragging Ryan to the mat in the snake challenge to Joel dragging Chet in the one challenge with the famous banter. Chet, I hit my head. Joel, I don't care. Chet, I know. We didn't even talk about that. That was so funny because like Ryan was so exhausted from that challenge, and JP just picked him up and put him down on the mat. It was like it was literally like if somebody were to pick up like a baby or a dog and just be like, "Get over here. I need you over here." And it was so funny. Yeah,
it wasn't angry. I think JP was actually trying to help him by just doing Ryan's job of walking for him.
Yeah. I think Ryan was so exhausted, and JP is a strong dude, clearly. I mean, he's a firefighter. He's built like, insane.
Matthew Lindsay, how do y'all feel about Ashley's overall chances of making it far in the game? I really like her, but she only has 2 people right now, JP and Devin. But JP is JP, and Devin has other commitments. Might be an early unanimous merge boot. She very well could be a merge boot. That's a really good point because she doesn't really have many friends. But she's kind of like, I'm trying to think, like, I don't want to compare her to Sierra Reed, like personality-wise, but Sierra was constantly on the bottom and constantly an underdog. And I'm kind of seeing that with Ashley. in that nothing ever goes her way. So she could work with JP and Chrissy and go that way. But I think if she works with JP, Chrissy is going to call them a showmance, because Chrissy and Ben have both said that they aren't completely buying that they're not into each other. So I don't know how much she can go that way. She could actually, if she goes with Devin, she by transitive property ends up with Chrissy anyways. So I'm not sure where she falls. She's the only one that I'm really unsure about.
Yeah, I could see Ashley being the merge boot too. She's gotten like kind of like a narrator.
Merge Bert.
Okay, let's make fun of her. She's gotten like a very narrator edit, which sometimes is just the merge boot, and it seems like where's she gonna go? But also, like, I'm really digging Ashley here. I didn't think I would like her as much as I do. Anderson Fraser, out of the first 5 voted out, who would you say is the best chances of coming back? I would say none of them. Because no, like really though, I mean, maybe they would bring back like Alan if they wanted to do, because I know that Cliff was like pretty close to being like on the second chances block. So maybe they would say like Alan because they want like an athlete, and he definitely would cause some drama. But no way Patrick comes back. There's no way Simone comes back. There's no way Katrina comes back. And after like as much as we saw from Rourke, I think Rourke has probably the most potential out of the first 5 booted. But I just don't see where she comes back.
Yeah, Jeff said like he would. I don't know if Jeff's just saying this in Alan's exit interview. Jeff said like I actually would want to bring him back for second chances. Probably because he's great TV and he's like really fun to watch. Rourke, I could see them bring her back because she's a super fan and there's a lot we could have got from her, but at the same time, like the Kelly Wentworth effect does not happen often. Like Kelly Wentworth coming back is not the norm at all. And I think people like Rourke, but at the same time, I think people will be like, what did we miss? Like she went home and like we don't know much about her because they're tribe one all the time.
You're much more likely to get a Monica Padilla out of Rourke than you are to get a Kelly Wentworth out of Rourke.
Exactly. Yeah.
The reason that Kelly Wentworth, the difference is Kelly Wentworth played on that season, or the reason she went home was because of her father. Like that's why she went home.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to bring her back to give her a chance to play a normal game of Survivor. Rourke, she played a normal season. So I don't see it. Unless she has a twin and they're going to cast Phil, Patrick, Will, JP, Rourke, and her twin.
Patty Renshaw, did anyone notice Desi won both challenges for her team? Wow. Yeah, we didn't really talk about it, but she like really can do the worm. Like she's really good at that.
That was insane.
And then that was insane. And then she like tanked her way across the the heck am I trying to say? Balance beam, like carrying that rice bag. She was awesome this week.
Yeah, she was really good. She was really good, and we didn't talk too much about that. Little sports guy, even though on Alan's boot episode, Jessica said she might have aligned with someone she shouldn't. She's obviously talking about Cole. But on the next time on Survivor, she said, I'm not ready to play this game without Cole. Do you think that what she said last week, just to give us some suspense about them breaking up, are a real sign of a downfall between the two? I think it's a downfall because I think that this is going to come down to the numbers are just against Cole, and Jessica has to make the decision of, do I try to save Cole or do I just get rid of him?
Yeah, it could be that, or it could be like Cole falls and like medical comes and talks to him, and then they have a confessional where she's like, I'm not ready to lose him like from the game, and then he ends up not going home. Like it could be something as simple as that too.
Yeah, and then they could lose the tribal after that, and then they just change their mind and say, okay, let's vote him out. But of course, in that moment, you don't want people to go home medevac. You don't want to lose Cole. If you don't have to lose somebody on your tribe, you don't want to lose them. So of course you don't want to lose Cole there. But if you lose the immunity challenge, Cole might be that might completely change your mind.
Yeah, exactly. And now that we're talking about it, we saw Jessica say that, and she's probably not going to say it until like halfway through the episode when they lose the immunity challenge. So we know that they go.
Or 5 episodes later because they gave us a preview. Let's see. Jigmad3373. I hope this season doesn't make it obvious who the winner is when the merge comes. I love how there are multiple standout edits rather than Sarah Lucina's edits last season. Yeah, I'm hoping this has a much more Millennials vs. Gen X vibe, co-wrong vibe than Game Changers. So
yeah, it's in many, many ways.
Yeah.
Benji Mitchell, Alexa, what's the update on your tie theory from preseason? Forgot about this. So my tie theory was that in a final 3, Jeff said that if 2 people are tied with votes to win, the third person then gets to vote for the winner. So I said that Desi and Chrissy and Ryan were going to be your final 3. And then Ryan is going to get no votes, and it was going to be Desi versus Chrissy. and he votes for one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the theory could still happen. I don't think it's going to be Desi and Chrissy, or if it is those three, I think it shifts a bit where people vote for Ryan and people vote for Chrissy, and then Desi is the one who votes for them to be the winner. She's the tiebreaker. I think I'm just now not really confident that Desi's going to be in the final three. That's the only thing I'm shaky about my theory.
It would be hilarious if the final three was Chrissy, Allie, and Ryan had to vote for Chrissy or Allie to win. That would be so funny. I don't think that would happen because I think if Ryan gets there, he's going to get votes unless he really starts betraying people. But that would be so funny.
Or that'd be funny if Allie's the one who chooses, because then there's your storybook ending. Ryan screws it at the beginning, and she screws him by not letting him win.
Yeah,
that's good.
That would be good too. Exactly.
Yeah.
Alex Newell, JP poses literally no threat. He's the most ideal person to align with. Even come the merge, if he wins immunity, then the spotlight isn't on you. And if you say jump, he will say how high. Everyone should be chomping at the bit to align with him. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's why I have him so high. There's no reason for him to go.
Yeah, I think that's true. I just think that if Ryan does really want to work with Allie and Allie calms down and says, okay, I'll work with you, I think that JP is the olive branch extended.
Yeah, for sure. Aqua G, who do you think will make it farthest of the remaining healers? Desi, Joe, Mike, Jessica, Cole.
Jessica.
I think my order would go Jessica, Mike, Desi, Joe, Cole.
Yeah, I think definitely Jessica. I could see Joe being like Rodney and getting fourth place or something, but I think definitely Jessica being the one who would go the furthest.
Yeah, for sure.
Ethan Hazel, I'm confused. Chrissy swore up and down that when she asked who wanted to sub in for her, no one responded, but we clearly see that Rourke wanted to go, but Chrissy wanted to stay. If Rourke really wanted to go, she would have ran up there and said, Chrissy, I'm going. Chrissy, I'm going. But Rourke was standing there saying, at least from what we saw, she was standing there going, well, do you want me to go? Do you want me to go? And when you're Chrissy, you already have the pressure of trying to do this. You're probably saying—
you can't answer questions.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, do I get off the damn thing? Rourke had to run out there and just take it from her, pretty much. That's what had to happen in that moment.
Mm-hmm. And like we said in the recap podcast, I would not want to do that. I would stay as uninvolved as possible on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Giovanni Oriana, was it necessary for Chrissy to go fire and brimstone on Rourke? The closest I can compare this to is the tribal council, where Russell Swan said to Angie, you're willing to put your life on the line, little girl. Just easy on these players. Ryan already made his decision before. I think Chrissy and Rourke the thing with tribal council is these people already are going at each other, and then Jeff puts them in a room and forces them to talk to each other. The point of tribal council is just elevate it even more. So they're gonna yell at each other, and they weren't even really yelling. They were being kind of passive aggressive and snippy, but it wasn't anything bombastic.
It didn't get ugly.
It didn't get ugly. Nothing got personal, and I think that's why I'm so okay with it, and that's why I'm so confused as why people are upset. It didn't get personal about between either of them. Neither of them seemed to have any extreme ill will towards the other. They were just two people who didn't click, and that's kind of that.
That's a good description of that. Giovanni, I think these next few days are a tightrope for Ryan because Allie could flip on him just like Hannah flipped on Jay after the Caleb boot. Plus, what's JP going to do? Allie is more dangerous than JP because she'll scheme and plot better than JP. But this is why there's no way Ryan goes home, because JP and Chrissy aren't going to go work with Allie over Ryan. So Ryan's fine. I don't think he's on much of a tightrope at all. It's really Allie who needs to decide how she wants to approach this.
Yeah. The only tightrope would be – actually, it wouldn't even be a tightrope because the only thing would be – Allie telling Lauren and Devin what happened, but I think Devin would still work with Ryan, and Lauren could be a toss-up. Lauren very well could work against him.
Mm-hmm.
Log Cheese, someone made a Twitter post about how Chrissy's smile is similar to Parvati's smile. Do you think Chrissy could be the older version of Parvati? They actually do have a relatively similar smile. Yeah, that could be a good comparison. I mean, Parvati's extremely strategic, and that worked out very well for her. I think that could be a fair comparison. I think it's still extremely early for that, but I get where people are coming from on that.
Yeah, and I think it's just because everybody's now starting to see Chrissy as a somewhat villain. And if you really look at Parvati in her first season, she really wasn't much of a villain.
She wasn't there.
Yeah, she was just kind of like she used her flirtation to get closer to Yule, and it didn't work. Like that's literally all that happened with Parvati, and then she comes back and she becomes the villain in the Black Widow Brigade. But yeah, that's I guess I could see it, but I mean it's always like let's compare it to somebody like classic Survivor player, and I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have Anthony Beam. I understand and respect your opinions, but to me, Chrissy came off as very unpleasant, and I can't wait to see her fall, and I hope Allie gets revenge. Off topic, do you guys watch the NHL? If so, what's your favorite teams? Go Devils. I'm a Flyers fan, which is really funny that, like, you know. I love,
You're
like,
a Flyers fan? Oh, you are a Flyers fan, right.
It's like the only Philly team that I like because the fans aren't as psychotic as other Philly fans. Like, the Eagles are the worst because of the
I was about to say, we were just texting about Philly fans.
Yeah, I lived with them. I like the Flyers, but...
Yeah. I'm a Bruins fan. I'm not like a huge hockey fan. I really like playoff hockey, but like so I wouldn't like sit down and watch the Bruins, but whenever I do watch games, they are pretty darn fun. And live hockey is like awesome.
Yeah. And I will say that I think the reason why Chrissy is definitely getting more of a bad rap is because it was against Allie, who everybody really is like a fan of. Who everybody's looking at as like more of like a positive hero type person. And that's probably why Chrissy's getting more crap for what she did.
Yeah. And Chrissy was also like being played up as like a positive underdog person. So then when like she showed some personality, people kind of like flipped out about it.
Yeah. We have Ground Scarecrow. How do you feel about Cole's eating habits? If that would be me on the island, I would want to vote him off even more. Well, you're going to see in this next episode, he goes down. The big people go down hard. When they don't get to eat, you saw it with Russell Swan. These people, they go out there and he's probably on such a regimented diet, like to look the way he does. He probably only eats specific things. He probably, only eats certain meals, like certain foods, whatever. And when you go out on this island, you're not putting into your body what you've probably been putting into your body very thought out for a really long time. And it's going to wear you down more than it's going to wear down Ryan, who, weighs 110 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, and they're not going to show us like this content, especially on a more modern season, but I'm sure that they do give Cole or Joe or Ben more food than they're giving Rourke or Chrissy, strictly because like it's a ratio thing, but him like sneaking around eating food, that's like a completely different story.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cheddar Slammer. I'm not sure what Allie's thinking going with Rourke, when the healers have 6 strong. For me, it all comes down to us not seeing much. And Allie forming a connection with her that we didn't see. This episode made it look like she put the cards in a person she just met. Yeah, when she said when she was saying to Rourke, like, I can just hop in with you guys, that made me a little nervous for Allie because that would just mean that she's at the bottom of like a really tight alliance. But she and Rourke did have a connection, and the healers, now that they've lost one, they are less threatening. But maybe the healers like working with Allie would have made them seem less scary rather than like one cohesive unit.
Joanne Devine, how does a recap take as long as watching the show? Because we're thorough and we have a discussion the entire time. Like, I don't know, because we read comments that takes like 20 minutes. Like,
we should do a recap and be like, Survivor Specialist, Pirate Phil, and Admiral Alexa are back. And Rourke got voted out. Okay, bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Because we like to talk, and that's why we do this. I have to lift up the fake mustache to drink this iced tea.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wanted to do that for like an hour.
I know. I'm super thirsty, but I already knocked over everything that is within a 10-foot radius of me.
Right, You're right now just podcasting in a puddle. Gamer Girl, if Allie makes a cameo on this podcast, will Phil have the same reaction they did when Michelle made her cameo? No, and hopefully it's more than a cameo. Hopefully, like, she actually comes on and like we can like get like some thoughts from Allie after the season. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be super cool. But Phil would have to like be cool the whole time.
Yeah, and I would not lose my mind the way that I lost my mind with Michelle. That was so unexpected. I mean, come on.
That was awesome. Giovanni Oriana, I had a feeling that Chrissy was going to be safe, mostly due to her edit and the fact that Adam had her at first. That's really wow, Adam. If you're listening, everyone really believes in you.
Yeah, that's really funny. I like that. Boosh Bear, not Survivor related, but R.I.P. Canes. We're going to get swamped by VT and Notre Dame. Yes, we probably almost absolutely are.
That was one of the worst wins I have ever watched yesterday. It was a terrible win.
And we so bad.
We looked bad. Yeah, we dropped a point in the rankings because of it. But I'm actually going to the Notre Dame game, and it's going to suck because we're going to lose.
Hey, hopefully we beat Virginia Tech before that, so that game still has meaning. But anyway.
Yes. Anyways, mine's not reloading.
Zachary Wolf, hey, thanks for podcast and had a really rough week, and watching your podcast helps so much. Well, you're welcome. We're always here.
We are always here for you. Oh, there we go.
Ice X, Stroh's only got one hit at home. Doesn't look good. Man,
yeah.
You're not kidding. That was ugly.
Yeah, that was not a great game last night, but it's proven to be a really good World Series. So tonight, I figured the Dodgers were going to get at least one game out in Houston.
But I thought it'd be the Kershaw start.
Yeah, seriously. So if they win tonight, I think it's kind of game over because then you go back to LA for game 6 and 7, and like beating them in LA is just going to be insane, especially if you're down 2-3. Yeah, it's a must win.
Yep, for sure. Keith Nails Tuck. Do you think there's any chance that Ryan will save Allie if they go to trouble because it doesn't make sense for him to lose another ally and therefore Allie and JP will go to Rocks? See, I don't think they'll go to Rocks, but I think I've made it kind of clear that I really do think that he could still try to find a way to go back to Allie.
Yeah.
For sure.
Ice X asking us a very good question. Which twist would you least like to see return? Outcast or Redemption Island?
Least like? God, I don't want to see either one, but probably I don't want to see Redemption Island anymore. Outcast they could tweak and make better, but I don't want to see Redemption Island.
If they tell you about the Outcast the second you walk onto the island, I would be okay with that because I like the idea of the people who got voted out, voting that person back in. I like that idea more than Redemption Island, but what ruined Pearl Islands for me is the fact that they didn't know that this twist was coming. So if they know it's coming, like I would be perfectly fine with it coming back.
Yeah. Then Gamer Girl, I love how Phil keeps wiggling his mustache. It is so uncomfortable. It just keeps riding up my nose.
Yeah, I'm really impressed that you've been working that the whole time.
I'm sweating in it. It's terrible. Ice X seems like Allie loses an ally every episode, yet she's still alive. She'll have quite the tribal council story if she makes it. My winner pick, by the way. Yeah, she's got a hell of a story. She really does already.
Yeah, I don't think Gamer Girl, I don't think Cole's going to get medevaced either. I think maybe like Medical will talk to him, but I don't think he's going to get medevaced because I feel like they could have played that. I don't think this happened.
It's the Boston Rob passing out thing. Like this happens sometimes. Like it's just like you get worn down and you just faint. Joe fainted. Don't forget. Like Golden Boy Joe fainted. So I'm not too worried about it. I don't think he's getting medevaced.
That's all I have. Do you see another one?
That's it. There's one last one on Twitter where it's Nicholas Booher. Could you see JP Ash reconnecting as a showmance, joining forces with Cole and Jessica? I don't think so because I don't think Cole and Jessica are that aligned. So
no, and I don't think either of those showmances are. I'm okay with both of these like big quotes here showmances because they're not dominating the season, and two, they're not like that simple. So like there are complex because Jessica like strategically doesn't really want to work with Cole, it seems like, and Ashley and JP haven't even been able to play together. Like I think that's what people are forgetting. They haven't even been able to work together yet. So I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah. So that's all I got. If you want to close it out,
all right, I'll close it out. Well, next week we will be back on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Pacific time, 12 a.m. Eastern. We will sadly not be wearing our pirate and our admiral outfits.
Thank God.
Because Phil has to be able to breathe and talk. But yeah, everyone have a good Halloween on Tuesday. So we'll be back on Wednesday. I'm gonna write my MVP spotlight of Chrissy tonight, so I'll post that tonight and then tomorrow. Leave us a comment on this video if you want us to talk about it on the recap podcast on Wednesday.
Which we won't do.
Which, we totally won't do because we haven't been doing that because I need to go to bed before 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Tweet at us because we'll actually read your comments on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. And keep subscribing. Our numbers are growing and it's really exciting. So we'll be back next week. Yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday. That's when we'll be back.
Yep.